He mastered the art, you could say, of picking up dollar bills with his butt cheeks. And it has been rumored that he took it one step too far, and apparently he picked up Israel Adesanya's ex-girlfriend with his butt cheeks as well. You probably already know that Israel Adesanya is leaving City Kickboxing. And when I first heard that, I couldn't believe it, because I thought this dude is gonna have a hard time finding another gym where these dudes could kiss each other, but somehow it's not gay. I don't know if that is an ambition of his. I don't know if he's just saying goodbye to that chapter of his life. But he has parted ways with them. And I think it's very interesting, something that he said, which unfortunately I closed the window on because I was going to quote something. So I'll paraphrase. He said something along the lines of, you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over if it's not working. That's the definition of insanity, which now that I'm saying that out loud makes me question why I'm still doing this YouTube channel. But that's for another time. He was talking about in that video where he announced this to the world, why would I keep doing that? It's not making sense. He's now lost 4 in a row. Something's not working. And he said, I want a more one-on-one individualistic type of approach, which I've always thought it's kind of weird personally when you have these, you know, obviously it works for most of them, where you have these gyms where it could be filled with, and I don't know if it matters, but you know, I'm not going to start naming them, but you'll have certain gyms that have even a handful at times. There have been some, like, what are they doing there? They'll have like a handful of champions at a time. But then at the same time, you'll have like a ladies kickboxing class. You'll have like a adult, you know, 50 and over cardio kickboxing class or something like that. And it's like, it's kind of interesting that they mix these people. You'll get some of the local high school wrestlers coming over, and it's just a blend of, you know, a bunch, you know, it's like an ultimate odd couple. You could have like, you know, Daniel Comer in the gym and this other guy that just clocked out from Best Buy, and they're rolling together. It's pretty crazy. Some of them probably just do it so that they can meet their favorite fighters, to be honest. But it's always blown my beanie a little bit that it's such a hybrid. And I think, man, I feel like if I were doing that, if I were a fighter, I'd want something a lot more focused, more controlled type of environment, a lot more one-on-one, a lot more, you know, just very streamlined. And I understand that when you have these gyms of mixed company and whatnot, it could be, you get more looks, you know, people from all walks of life. Some dude probably just had an argument with this lady. He's probably got a lot of pent up rage, and it's just kind of a nice storm to walk into. You never know what you're going to get. People of all different creeds and colors and sizes and backgrounds. But Israel Adesanya said, I don't want that anymore. I want a one-on-one. I want my Mr. Miyagi, is what he's basically saying. And I think I know who that is. And you might already be ahead of me. Now, as far as I'm aware, I haven't heard anybody else say this. But as I'm saying it, you're probably hearing the wheels turning because I set it up so beautifully. You know, I'm going somewhere with this. I think it's Mighty Mouse. I don't know if you've seen it. They started a new podcast together. I think it's called the Precision Podcast. And you know what I thought was a little bit dirty? And I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs of that. I just think it's a little gross. And I don't know if that's a call from Mighty Mouse. I don't know if it's whoever his producer is or whatever. But remember they had that podcast. It was like the Mighty Guru show. It was the MMA Guru and Mighty Mouse. And one of the things that people absolutely loved was these comical looking thumbnails that they would do. And they were kind of, you know, ambitious and bold and silly and humorous and, you know, pretty clever. And I saw the thumbnail today of the Precision Podcast. I hope I'm getting this right. I'm almost, you know what? Let me look it up real quick. I was looking at the thumbnail and it was the exact same style. And I just thought, that seems a little tacky. That seems a little in bad taste. Yeah, so they're doing the same thing where they're doing like this Bad Boys theme, this format. And that's what MMA Guru and Mighty Mouse used to do. They would like parody like different moves. I just think that's a little tacky. I think that's like if someone separates from their spouse and then they get with another spouse and they're like sharing the same bed and everything. There's something weird about that. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I don't know. Maybe MMA Guru wouldn't even care. I don't know. Maybe it was his idea. Maybe he came up with the idea. He's like, you can have that. That's my parting gift. I don't know. I just think if that's Mighty Mouse or his producer, bro, be more original. That just seems kind of corny to me. But anyway, Israel Adesanya was like, okay, I'm out of here. Let's just kiss and say goodbye. He had to take some for the road. You know, he left those dudes at CKB and then he went on. He says, I want my Mr. Miyagi. And now, boom, he starts the Precision podcast with who a lot of people think is the MMA GOAT. One of the best minds, one of the best IQs ever in the sport of MMA. And you know Mighty Mouse loves to do that kind of thing. He's always making the rounds. We see him training with people like Armin Sarukian and stuff like that lately. He loves to still be in the mix of it. And I think he'd be more than happy to be a part of revitalizing someone's career like this. And they're already forming that kind of relationship, doing a show together. I think it's him. I think he's going to train him. And there's something else here that I think is at play. I think he's not just training him for a comeback, you know. I think he's training him for a rejuvenation, I don't know, a new identity, a new chapter, maybe. I think Israel Adesanya is prepping mentally and physically for the light heavyweight division. I mean, again, were you ahead of me? I don't know. I don't know if some of you started seeing where I was going with the Mighty Mouse thing, with the light heavyweight thing. But again, as of right now, I definitely haven't heard anybody else talk about it. How do people not see these things? They're too focused on Conor McGregor's leg right now, which ironically, I saw a piece of the Precision podcast. I call it BP, Precision Podcast. I call it the BP Show. Israel Adesanya was talking about, legs going into fights injured. He went into his second fight in the UFC with Pereira with a badly injured right knee, apparently. All these people keep saying, how do you think Conor got in there injured? How do you think he got through all the checks and balances? And the commission, people do it all the time, bro. I talked about it in my video yesterday. People do it all the time. They fight with one eye. They fight with meniscus tears, ACL tears, shoulder tears. People do it all the time. But this video is not about that. Watch that video after you finish this one. I think he's preparing him to go to the light heavyweight division. And I think it makes perfect sense. You know by now of the drama with him and Carlos Ulberg. And Carlos Ulberg, which I think the whole community has to be aware of by now. There's levels of knowledge in the community for casuals. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean people that actually have lives. And they have things to tend to. They have children. They have bills. And then the kind of pathetic, like fantasy football type people that know way too much about MMA, frankly, who have way too much time on their hands. But Carlos Ulberg used to be a exotic dancer. Supposedly, he used to he mastered the art, you could say, of picking up dollar bills with his butt cheeks. And it has been rumored that he took it one step too far, and apparently he picked up Israel Adesanya's ex-girlfriend with his butt cheeks as well. And that could be where this whole drama started, where things started to kind of go off the ledge mentally for Adesanya. I mean, if you're Israel Adesanya and you're in this camp, you're in this gym with this dude who's doing these things, and I don't know which ex it was. I don't know if it was the one that was trying to ruin his life, and then one of his teammates is acting like this. So much of the fight game is mental. Who knows if that has anything to do with his last 4 losses? Now, look, I feel like I have to say, people ask me in the comments, do you like any fighters? I do, but that's not what this video is about right here. I don't need to start naming them. You already know that Khabib Nurmagomedov, peace be upon him, is my favorite fighter of all time. Like my current favorite fighters, the homie Josh Hockett, Alexander Volkanovski. Like I like plenty of fighters, all right? But that's not what this video is about right now. I've never liked Adesanya. He's probably one of the dudes that I dislike the most ever in all of MMA ever. Like, you know that one dude that was like murdering people and he was throwing the shoe in Austin Powers? I'd rather chill out with that guy than Israel Adesanya. It's to that level. So I'm not in here like trying to like hype him up or anything like that. I'm an MMA truther and I'm just bringing you the information. So Carlos Ulberg was up to some nonsense. He was up to no good. And I think maybe it got to Adesanya's head. He loses 4 in a row. He needs to get out of there. I mean, what does he expect Eugene to do? You know, he's just trying to make a living. He's just trying to coach. He's just trying to pay his bills. He's not a teacher. They're not kids. He's not going to go tell Ulberg, sit in the corner. Stop it. Ulberg, stop. Stop it. He's a grown man. He could do whatever he wants. And I think all that aside, he's out of there. It doesn't make sense. He's moving on. He has Mighty Mouse as his Mr. Miyagi. And when he looks where he's currently at, I mean, Strickland, look at the way that it went the last time he fought Strickland. And then you got Hamza at number 2. If he has to fight Hamza, it's basically a RAF match. That's not good for Adesanya. Dricus du Plessis, we've seen that. Nisardine Amamov, we've already seen that. Joe Pyfer, we've seen that. Brendan Allen, Caio Barrio, Anthony Hernandez, these dudes are all kind of beating each other and beating people on their own streaks. He doesn't want none of that mess right now. But if you look at the light heavyweight division, who's up at the top? Oh, we got a good storyline, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Ulberg. Adesanya wants to go to the light heavyweight division and pick up Carlos Ulberg with his butt cheeks. Carlos Ulberg, a dude that he trained with in the gym, spent who knows how much amount of time with swinging Kiwis with them. This dude knows the ins and outs of how this guy trains. He's sparred with him. He's rolled with him. They probably caught the same strand of ringworm together many a time. Imagine this dude having the strap with the storyline that he has, with the drama and the history and the beef that they have. Adesanya hasn't had that kind. The last time he had anything like that or felt anything like that, it was with Pereira. Now, I know that Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland was kind of getting in his head and saying all this crazy stuff. That's not the same, though, as having like this. This is like an anime story kind of thing. Those dudes were kind of just like bullying him and saying, you know, I wanted to say crazy stuff, but, you know, I think it was all true. But this is more one of those arcs that really is going to get Adesanya excited. You look under that, Alex Pereira, well, we know he's beatable in more ways than one. Adesanya's already beat him. Top of that, get Herb Dean to ref it. Woo! Foregone conclusion. Jiri Prochazka, let's not kid ourselves anymore. He's fun on social media. He'll go into the woods naked and start beating himself with some poison ivy or whatever. He's fun. He'll throw swords around. It's fun. Get him some nunchucks. It's fun, but let's be serious. Hindsight. Let's be serious now. Look at his record. Let's be serious. Adesanya, I don't like him, would manhandle him. Pick him up with his butt cheeks. I wouldn't be surprised if Jiri's used to that kind of training. He might get confused. I don't know if he'd fight back. Paulo Costa, we've seen that already. Little graphic. Ironically, Adesanya was trying to get Paulo Costa to pick him up with his butt cheeks. Jamal Hill, he's gone. I don't even know why he's still listed on here. Or he said he's going to go to heavyweight. But Jamal Hill? Flat-footed Jamal Hill? I don't know who's the king of the flat-foots. Jamal Hill or Derek Lewis? It's a close race. Khalil Roundtree? He loses heart. Abandons the game plan. Gets emotional. Gets teed off on. He was kicking Alex Pereira's butt. But I don't think that would be a difficult challenge for Adesanya. I mean, I look at the list here, and I think it's a way easier time and a way easier path for Israel Adesanya to be in the light heavyweight division than to be in the middleweight division. And it makes sense. There's better matchups for him, and there's beef here. There's something built in here to get him excited. It's the same as John Jones. And I mean, we could do that all over again if you want. He was never scared of Tomas Aspinall. He was offered, I don't know how much money. He lied about it. They finally uncovered it. Yeah, he was offered that. And people were saying, that was the smoking gun. Now you look stupid, John Jones. And I'm saying, wait a minute. That only proves that he doesn't care about the money. He was just using that as an excuse because he didn't think they'd ever do it. And he just couldn't get himself excited about it. He was like Scarface in that one scene where his lady was making fun of him. That's not important right now. He didn't want to do it because it just didn't excite him. And people made fun of him in the moment because they thought he's scared. Until the White House came up and he's like, oh, I'll fight him then. I'll fight him now. Do you think if he was scared of Aspinall right before the White House event, if he was really scared of him, then that fear would have gone away when the White House came up? I can't even, please leave me essays down below. I can't, like someone will be like, Cope or something. I don't know. Oh, John Jones is criminal. I know he is. I don't like him either. But I can't understand. Like, where do they get lost on the path there? He says, I don't want to do it. It doesn't excite me. And then we found out, oh, he was offered a lot of money. Okay. And then he didn't do it. And oh, he's scared. But then right after, oh, it's at the White House. I'll do it. How does anyone still think that he was scared? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. It was just the White House was something that got him excited. John Jones isn't someone that's motivated by money. He's someone that's motivated by validation and attention and people, I don't know, maybe people loving him, even though he'll just exploit that and not really care anyway because he seems sociopathic. I don't know. But he doesn't seem like someone that's motivated by money. He seems like someone that's motivated by being able to manipulate situations and be in control and, you know, do his weird thing where he kind of like acts like a charismatic, kind of fun, happy guy, and then he'll stab everything in the back and flip everything. I don't know, whatever. Kind of like that scene with him in DC where he starts acting all fake and they're on camera. It's funny. Or like all this beef he's having with Dana White and then they're taking photos together and he's showing love. It's like, dude. Anyway, I'm getting distracted right now. Why did I even bring up John Jones? Oh, yeah, for the Tomas Aspinall thing. This is something that's actually going to get Israel Adesanya excited. And there's a lot of moving parts here. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get excited in the way he needed to be staying at City Kickboxing. Especially where he's in this environment where maybe he feels like, and I'm assuming here, maybe he felt like my boys, my coach, people aren't backing me up. I kind of wish they all would have got together and kicked out Ulberg for what he did. And the fact they didn't, I take that personal. Like, the fact that they did nothing is everything to me. You know, one of those kind of things. Like, the lack of action maybe left them feeling disrespected. Left him very distracted. I mean, literally, if he felt these, and look, I'm not encouraging or promoting, like, however he felt. I'm not saying, yeah, dude, stay in your feelings, get in your feelings, mope around, listen to some Drake. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if he did feel that way about it, I could absolutely see him getting all in his head and frustrated and feeling all defensive and like they weren't on his side if they didn't all take it upon themselves to be like, you're a bad guy, Carlos, and get him out of there. So now he's going with this other dude who, again, is viewed as the GOAT. And now he's going to have this fire under him. And then he's going to go up to another. I'm excited about this. It's hard to get me excited about anything having to do with Israel Adesanya because the way that dude fights. Stick and move, point fighter. But I don't know if he's going to fight like that against Ulberg. He's going to, like, he might put a beating on him like he put on Whitaker. That's another dude that I realized that's messed up for Whitaker because he's coming up now trying to make a name for himself. Now he's like, bro, you're trying to do me like Pereira did you? You chasing me through divisions? He's a division bender.